Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lainey and I'm a lover of beauty and makeup, and today is our No Pan Left Behind update. I believe it's 22 palettes. I will say I did not make it through all of the palettes this time or for this update. We did end up moving and there was just a couple days that I wasn't doing my makeup. So I'm going to start with the ones that I didn't get a chance to touch, and then we will get into the palettes and looks that I did with the other ones. I will say I do have a few rollouts, so that's really exciting. I'm going to let it dwindle down to about 10 and then steadily roll in and out as I complete the palettes, No Pan Left Behind. So the first one that I didn't get to touch is the Sorcerer palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. This is the color story. I had tried to reach for this a couple times, but the colors I have left to use just weren't something that were calling to me. So this one has not been used yet. And then I have Silvery Bliss from Odin's Eye. Again, I had thought about reaching for it, but the color story is a lot of reds and pinks, and it just wasn't something that I was looking for when doing my looks. And then I have the Nightmare Before Christmas. Again, I didn't reach for that one. I could have probably reached for this on Valentine's Day, but I did something else instead. It's really hard for me to want to reach for this palette because there's only two mattes, and then there's satins and shimmers. And then we have the Nomad Whistler Snow Lodge. And here is this color story. We have the Nomad Ghost Town USA. This one would have been easy to reach for. I was just itching to use other palettes that I had. This would have been good for a neutral look if I would have thought about it. And then I have the Witch City Salem from Nomad as well. And the last one that I did not get the chance to use is the Eternal Twilight from Odin's Eye. And this has kind of like two different sections to it. There's like the darker side and the lighter side. So that is the last of the palettes that I did not get a chance to use this update. So they will be top priority going into the next update. Hopefully now that we're settled in, I will be able to make it through all of my palettes, especially with a few rolling out. So I will start with what I am wearing today, and that is the Cosmic, I'm going to scoot over so I can pop up pictures for you guys. So it is the Cosmic Beauty Serenity palette. I did use the greens today, or some of the greens, because I didn't use all of them. I used Sorbet, this green all over. I really like this green because you can either just tap it on for like a sheer look, or you can like swipe it on for a more opaque look. And then I used this in the inner corner. So I really enjoyed this look. I was kind of unsure about this palette, but the more that I use it, the more I am liking it. So I'm really glad that I am doing the No Pan Left Behind. Next, I have the Starlight Society from Cosmic Beauty. And I ended up using the Blue Row. And then I also used this as an inner corner highlight. I really enjoyed the look. It kind of, because of this shimmer, it did turn out looking a little like a green blue, but it was still fun and I still really enjoyed it. And I really like the formula of Cosmic Beauty. Then I have the Death palette from Cosmic Beauty, and I ended up using the neutral row, so this row right here. Made a very easy look. I will say a lot of the looks that I created this time around were more neutral, easygoing, just had a lot going on. I still wanted to do my makeup, but I couldn't take forever doing it. Then we have the Muse palette, and this one was a really simple look. I used 3 colors. So it was this like yellow, orange, the brown, and then this shimmer right here. Very easy, simple, and I enjoyed the look. I will say the Muse and Serenity give me a lot of the same vibe, except like as far as the greens go, and then Serenity has more like a blue, and this one has more like a neutral tone to it. Then we have the A Shadow of Secrets from ColourPop. I ended up using quite a few shades for the look that I made. I even actually used the glitter, the pressed glitter, like all over the eye to help make the look pop. But I used more of the darker, so I used like these 2 and then these 2. I used a lot of the darker purpley shades this time. Purple is not the easiest color story for me, but I am definitely trying to use it more, and the more that I do it, the more that I am finding that I do like it. And I think the quality of the purple shadow matters too, because purples are some of the hardest colors to formulate, so having a good formula in it makes it not as intimidating. The next palette is the Rosy Jingle from Odin's Eye. I will say, I thought that I should have decluttered this when I was looking back, but now the more that I use this palette, the more and more I absolutely love it. Like, even though it's pinks, I still really am enjoying this palette a lot. So I used more of the neutral and gold shades. So I used like the yellows and those. And then I also used this one as well. I really am enjoying this formula from Odin's Eye. I know some of their, I don't want to say inner corner, but some of their flaky formulas are not my favorite, but I am so far enjoying this palette, and I haven't found anything that I'm not liking about it. So that is the Rosy Jingle. Then we have the Nomad Orient Express. This one was, again, really simple, easy, neutral look. I used these right here, and then this white. I will say I'm really disappointed in this palette. I don't know if it's because of the age, it's not performing like it should, or if it's just because it's an older palette and an older formula. But yeah, that's the look I made with that. Again, the colors aren't popping the way that I want them to with this palette, so I don't know if that will end up staying in my collection at the end of the year. But then I have the Sinister from Cosmic Beauty. Again, this is another one, the more that I use it, the more that I like it. This was a pretty simple look. I used this corner right here, and then I used this kind of like iridescent-y inner corner. So this one was a darker look, but still I really like it. And I like this palette because it's out of my comfort zone with the reds and the purples, and it goes really good with the Death palette. They're kind of like, they just kind of go together. Next we have the Nomad Chicago Speakeasy. And again, this one, I made a very simple look with the purples, and then I used a pop of this for the inner corner. This one is kind of disappointing right now. I thought I liked this one a lot better than what I have so far. I don't know if it's just the purples, but with the purples being, you know, 2/5 of the palette. Most of their palettes have the neutrals right here, and at least one other palette has these like greens in them. So this wouldn't necessarily be something that I would keep for one particular shade if I'm just not enjoying it. Next we have the Spring Dragon from Odin's Eye. This one, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one I wore for Valentine's Day. If I'm wearing a pink top, it is. But I used these pink shades right here and this pink shimmer right here. It turned out okay, not my favorite. I know it's a pastel palette, but I know I also have better pastels in other palettes. Next, I have the Do Not Disturb palette from BH Cosmetics. I did a purple look with this one. This is actually one of my rollouts, which is really exciting. I definitely enjoyed the blue look that I created with this palette, and now I also have that purple one. The purple's not my favorite, but I really did enjoy the blues, and I think it did turn out pretty. So that one is a rollout. Then we have the Mighty Monsters from Odin's Eye. And this one was more of a neutral look. I did use the top row along with an orange shimmer and a little bit of an orange matte. I am not liking the formula of this one. It's hard to build up. It doesn't blend very well. So I have a couple more shades I need to use on this, but I don't see this surviving my end of year declutter either. Next we have the Shrek ColourPop palette. And again, I did more of a neutral look. I used, the way I'm holding it, it's like the top 3 in the right and the 2 in the middle on the left. I really enjoyed the color story that I made with this, and I am really loving ColourPop's formula, especially for them to be a more inexpensive brand when it comes to their palettes. So really enjoying that. Again, have a few more shades before that. Next, I used the Florastory palette from Odin's Eye, and I created a purple look with this, and my daughter got a hold of it, so there's little fingerprints in it. But it was all of the purple shades and then the iridescent inner corner. Not a big fan of this formula. It doesn't show up very well. It's hard to blend. So I do have palettes with better greens in them and better purples, but this is also a roll out. And then the last palette I have is the F Off palette from BH Cosmetics. Again, this one was a darker look with the purples and greens and then a little bit of blue. I enjoyed the neutral look I made with this in the first update. I was not a fan of this look or the color story, honestly. I like the other BH Cosmetics palette a lot better than this. So this is a rollout, and I don't see this surviving my declutter at the end of the year either. And with that being said, we have 3 rollouts, and then I have a couple more that are close, and I will be focusing on the ones that I was not able to get an update on for. And I hope to see you in the next video. I hope you like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.